Today, I am announcing an agreement between the Capital Improvement Board and the Pacers Sports and Entertainment to preserve the viability of our downtown economic engine, keep the Pacers as the Conseco Fieldhouse prime tenant, preserve the thousands of jobs impacted by Fieldhouse activity, and maintain the millions of dollars in tax revenue generated by this same activity.
When the Pacers leadership came to the city nearly 2 years ago, they clearly outlined a lot of challenges that they had and were seeking relief. They talked to us about full reimbursement related to Conseco Fieldhouse operations, an agreement that would have started last basketball season. Almost $30 million of capital improvements is a list that I think that they would agree that could be made to that building, and potentially the reestablishment of the cable franchise money that had been given to them in years past. And without this relief, we believed that as committed as Herb Simon is to keeping the Pacers here in the city, he would have had to look at all of his options, which could have led to the team leaving Indianapolis.
I had the good fortune to move to Indianapolis from Seattle after spending 5 years. However, in my 5 years there, it lost something very, very near and dear in the last 18 months to 2 years before we left. And that was, you may recall, the Seattle Sonics are now the Oklahoma Thunder. In addition to just sort of ripping out the heart and soul of a lot of people that love basketball, love the Sonics, 40 consecutive years, it also had a profound impact on business. I would say probably in the immediate months that followed the Sonics' departure from Seattle, 7 businesses closed. And these were businesses were approximately a couple blocks from the Key Arena. And that doesn't factor in the businesses that are still feeling the economic benefit. I talked to some of my friends in Seattle today, and I will assure you that as you heard the mayor and Ann articulate about the cost of operating a facility if you didn't have teams like the Pacers and the Fever playing in it, we'd be paying it.
In an exhaustive report released just a few months ago, the annual economic impact of losing the Indiana Pacers was estimated at $55 million, with a direct impact to the city of $18 million. Perhaps most importantly, the report also stated that nearly 1,000 jobs are directly related to the Pacers and the Fever playing their games in the Fieldhouse, and that total number of jobs rises to over 1,900 when accounting for all activities in the Fieldhouse. At a time when our city's budget is facing challenges unlike any seen in recent memory, the impact of these numbers simply cannot be ignored.
The CIB over the next 3 years, in 2010, 11, and 12, will provide Pacers Sports and Entertainment with a $10 million payment from our operating funds for the explicit purpose of operating Conseco Fieldhouse. The ability to restrict the Pacers from leaving over the next 3 basketball seasons guarantees that we will continue to receive annual fiscal impact of over $55 million while allowing us to gain greater understanding of our financial picture as well as that of the Pacers.
It is important that critics understand without the Pacers, the taxpayers would have to shoulder the entire burden of operating the Fieldhouse, estimated at about $13 million, in addition to a tax loss of about $5 million. Additionally, the Capital Improvement Board, which has worked diligently to restore fiscal responsibility to its operations over the past couple of years, would suffer great financial hardship with the loss of tax revenues and the assumption of all expenses to operate Conseco Fieldhouse.
Herb and Mel Simon, and now Herb, is absolutely committed to having the Pacers in Indianapolis forever. Herb is preoccupied with the need to have a long-time partnership between the Pacers, the CIB, and the larger community that will guarantee that the Indiana Pacers will be here long after all of us might no longer be involved.
By coming together in public fashion, we have made it clear that thousands of jobs will be preserved while keeping my pledge that the interest of the taxpayers must be paramount.
We play an important role in continuing to build a sense of community, which in some respects, much as the mayor just said, is the most powerful asset any city can have. The notion that we all belong to each other and what each of us does is for the benefit of all.